Greetings one and all, this is Rhythmworks and welcome to my channel with some Star Wars Battlefront gameplay action style. This time blast mode, which is more or less team deathmatch swamp crash site. I wanted to do something a little different today, and it's more or less a list that I've compiled of things that are here to stay in shooters. As much as we don't like them, as much as we are frustrated by them, but they are here to stay. The only way we can basically get over it is to get under it, get around it, move backwards, sideways, I don't care. But the reality is that shit ain't going away out of this list. And first up, DLC. Pricey DLC. Now, people might think it's a business practice that has just been implemented in recent years. But the reality is that the business practice has been around a long time, and it's not only exclusive to video games, it's just in commerce in general. For example, you go to your local store and you buy a multi-pack of potato chips, a 6-bag of potato chips, and they're the fucking best potato chips you've ever tasted. Then word gets round that you pass it on from one person eating the bag of chips to 5 people eating the bag of chips to 25 million people eating the bag of chips. The people who make the bag of chips seize an opportunity to make a whole lot more money. So what do? They decrease the volume and maintain the price. So instead of selling a 6-bag of chips, they will sell a 5-bag of chips for the same price. No different with computer games in shooters. No different at all. So as long as we like a particular product, as long as we like a particular genre in video game, and we basically buy into it and we buy into it and we buy into it, no matter how we get our freaking money, whether we rob, steal or work hard for it, the developers and the publishers are going to try and find a way of making the money by separating the code. And that's it. That shit's here to stay, like herpes. Get over it. Next up, kids who play mature rated games. Now granted, there are shooters that kids can play that are aimed at kids, but when you have games like Grand Theft Auto, for example, I've never seen so many kids play that game, and I don't understand how they can get away with it, but they get away with it. There are some responsible parents that know exactly what is up because they were gamers themselves at one time. But there are gullible parents that think by their son's explanation of the game. For example, Mom, can you get me Grand Theft Auto 5? Grand Theft Auto, doesn't that sound like a felony? No, Mom, it's like The Sims. And they will believe them because they have no knowledge of video games. But for those who are in the know, they know. But the reality is you can't stop kids from playing mature rated games. You know, you just can't stop them. You know, some parents will use those games just to keep their kids fucking quiet. You know what I'm saying? You know, and if it takes heat off their ass, you know, what's a murder between mother and daughter, or mother or father and son? You know what I mean? So that shit is gonna be here to stay. You ain't gonna get rid of that shit. That shit is there like luggage. Get over it. Next thing, vertical exploiters. I'm going into the in-game styling now. So vertical exploiters. What do I mean by vertical exploiters? Well, people that come into the game and find the highest point of any map and just kill people from there. They don't get into any close combat. They don't get into any medium range combat. It's just long range. And all they do is basically snipe and snipe and snipe from the highest point. And they do it in such a way where you have to kind of pick it up as to how they got there, or watch YouTube videos as to how they got to that point. And then when you see one person doing it, guaranteed a lot of more people are following suit. And it's more apparent in this game, Star Wars Battlefront. I've seen it already within the first couple of days I got the game. And one person does it, then you got everybody basically doing it. It's here to stay. I don't like it, but it's here to stay. Get over it. Next up, opportunists. By that I mean people who are too fucking lazy to get a well-earned kill. They just wait for gunplay, gun noises, and the radar to see where it's coming from, and they'll just stand back, watch the 2 people get into a gunfight. Whoever's left, if they're the enemy, they're getting shot. If they're not, they're not. Simple as. but they're not active in looking for people, if that makes any sense. They just wait. You're going to get a lot of that in games. That's here to stay. Get over it. Next up, no mic randoms. I mean, what else can I say about that? I mean, sometimes you play a game with randoms and they instinctively know how you play, you know, and sometimes if one person has a mic on and the other person doesn't, you know, that might lead into a friendship being formed because, you know, you're being very, I wouldn't say expressive, but you're being vocal in how you play the game. And if you play the game in an intuitive way and people pick up on that, then that will encourage other people to turn on their mics as well. But for the most part, when you just get into a game with randoms, they may even have a mic, but they choose not to turn it on because they don't know you. They might not even speak English. They might not even trust your freaking motives in the game, and they just leave it off, you know? And sometimes that can be a bit frustrating, but that's the reality of the situation. There are going to be randoms that just don't have their mic turned on, and as much as you want them to turn it on, they won't turn it on. It's their choice. It's their electricity. You know what I mean? That shit is here to stay. Get over it. Move on. Next up on the list is one of my pet peeves. Campers. I cannot stand fucking campers. I can't stand them. They fall under the line of opportunists. They will just stay in a fucking spot and don't move. They just wait for traffic to roll by them and roll by them. Now, the smartest campers, they will camp in one spot, make a kill, then move to another spot. But the fucking selfish campers, right, who got no fucking love for the game or the mechanics, will stay in the one position, the one location on the map, and camp and kill, thinking, oh, they're not going to get me. But that happens to me probably once or twice. But if it happens to me twice, I'm going after his ass and I'm killing him and I'm taunting him on top of that. That shit's here to stay, ladies and gentlemen. Get over it. Move on. Next up on the list, punishment shooters. I can't fucking stand punishment shooters. You know, when you basically play a game and you make a simple mistake that anyone can make on any level, you know, they can make a mistake. And then all of a sudden you're getting fucking an empty clip of bullets shot into your back because you made a mistake. And it's a way of them telling you, you fucked up, stupid, when they could have turned on their microphone if they had one to tell me that, but they choose to shoot me. Now that fucking shit is stupid simply because of the fact that when you're shooting, you're making up noise, and second of all, you're revealing your location on the fucking radar. That means when anybody else fucking sees that, they can get 2 for the price of 1. However, that shit is staying. It's not going away, ladies and gentlemen. Get over it. Next up, your losses. I don't care how good a freaking shooter you are, right? Your win ratio is going to tell you how many games you've lost as well as you won. Now, you could be the best shooter on the freaking game, right? And still be on the losing side. It's just the law of averages at the end of the day. So that shit doesn't impress me unless you are an all-rounder. Then that impresses me. When I get killed from somebody at the other side of the map to the point where I can't even see the fucker, I'm impressed at that shit. I like being killed like that because it shows me how to play. Number 9. Okay, next up on the list is one of the very banes of my shooter gaming experience and my existence. And I'm sure among the very skilled among you, you can sympathize with this one. And next up on the list, shotgunners. Just the mention of that word evokes a lot of situation that you guys come up with or come up against with shotgunners. Now, don't get me wrong. Shotguns are in the game. They're in the game. They're in the game. It's not the availability of the shotgun that I'm pissed off with. It's the fact of people only using shotguns and nothing else. They don't use anything else. It's just the shotgun because of the blast radius and the damage. Obviously, it causes a lot of damage, but you have to be in close range. And that's more or less the balance, really. You know, you can't use a shotgun from medium to long range. It just won't work. The dispersal area is just too wide. But one of the moves that these shotgunners pull off, which I hate, not because I can't do it or I can't get away from the move, it just looks fucking juvenile and it's worn out, in my opinion, is when they run up and they slide and they shoot. And they think that that is fucking skillful. But at the end of the day, it's not, because you can't miss. If you use that fucking mode and you miss, you are an idiot. Because the blast radius of the shotgun alone in that close proximity, you will get an instant kill. But people will say a kill is a kill, is a kill, is a kill. And that's fine, that's fair enough. It's just one of the things that I just don't like. It's the only use of shotguns in games by gamers who can't use automatic rifles. They just can't use them. And there are lots of them that are like that. They just can't use them. All-rounders don't have a problem with. You know what I mean? I don't mind all-rounders. And you can tell, you know, by the gamer tag of people that basically uses the shotguns, which other guns they use as well. It's not rocket science. You can tell very easy. Oops. Toast. You can tell very easy who are all-rounders just by checking out the guns you're getting killed by. That's the information they're giving you on the fucking screen, right? Okay. But when you see people and that's all they use, it pisses me off to no fucking end. But it's here to stay, ladies and gentlemen. Get over it. Move on. And last, but by no means least, on the list of things that are here to stay is rage. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, rage. And that is something that we all, in one way or another, has expressed. I don't care if you've expressed it through your headset, or you've expressed it through your head, or you've expressed it off mic. We all suffer from rage. Not only because of our schoolboy errors, but of other people's or teammates' stupidity. We suffer from rage. And some people are more vocal about it than other people. In my case, I'm like that. And I remember watching a lot of YouTube videos, Call of Duty videos. And this was before I even got into shooters, and watching people rage on that shit. And I said to myself, what the fuck are these people raging for? It's only a fucking game. There is no way I am going to be reduced to that on a computer game. Little did I know. As soon as I got into freaking shooters, yep, that was it. Done. Caught the disease. Caught the rageolitis. Caught that disease full on. And I totally get it and I totally understand. Rage is something that we all suffer from at one point or another. Sometimes it's not a good thing. Sometimes it's a funny thing. Sometimes it's funny as fuck. You know what I mean? Especially when you have people in your own team raging. That's funny. And you can tell by the behavior of people on the other side as well. Just by their tactics. If they're raging or not. You can just tell, you know. You really can. Anyway, it's with that. That's my 10 lists of things that are here to stay in shooters. I hope you've enjoyed them. If anything, tell me about the stuff that you don't like in games that you know in one way or another they ain't going anywhere. Drop a list of your own. It doesn't have to be 10. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could be any amount. But drop a list if you want to. Let me know. Let the subs know. Let the world know. And it's with that, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. And as always, you know the coup. Whatever the game, format, genre, platform. Happy gaming, ladies and gentlemen, because that's what it's all about. Boys and girls, brothers and sisters. And until I catch you on the next one, I'm getting tongue-tied here. Until I catch you on the next one, stay blessed. Magan.
Watch the ride.